Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This week we're going to review some pairs that we've been reviewing and make an update in terms of forecast for the week coming. And just before we start, obviously this is not financial advice, guys. This is just my own view of the market. I'm not a financial advisor for markets. So do your own research. Take what I'm going to say with a pinch of salt, and obviously do your own research and decide what you do, and make sure the decisions that you're taking are your own decisions and not obviously as a result of what I'm saying. So without out the way, let's get into it. Let's get this. Let's close this off. Let's close this off. Let's close this off. So we've got a bigger volume here. Actually, we can make this bigger. Okay, so let's start with gold. Let's start, I like always to start on the high tide in terms of the monthly chart. We can see the tide is still up on gold. We've gone quite high above the KC channel, but the tide is up. Volume is dwindling, and that's obviously a concern. Bulls are clearly pushing price down on this here. We go on to the weekly chart. We've got, a very big selling candle with a big volume as well. So, for gold, I do expect that gold continues to come down. And I've got a target here of gold rising first. It rises up first to about the 340 area, and then it falls to somewhere around the 2285 area. So somewhere here, 2285, somewhere there. That's where we expect gold to fall to. Let's look at the next pair, GBPUSD. So GBPUSD on the weekly chart, we can see we've got energy flow to the upside. We've got some good volume bars here. Last week volume compared with the previous is quite good. We do expect that the GBPUSD to continue to go up. We expect a pullback to about the 1273 area, and then a push up back to the kind of 128 area. 128 area is where we would expect GBPUSD to land by the end of the week. Let's look at the next pair, SPX. So XPX, again, on the weekly chart, we can see energy flow to the upside. We've done a huge move, 1, 2, 3, and this huge forward move, and then we on the next one. Energy flow is still to the upside. We have, bulls and bears fighting it out here. If we take a step back to the daily chart, we can see that, buyers have stepped into the market again. So, we do expect that, XPX rises to about 5320 area, 5320 area, somewhere there, 5320 area here, somewhere there. And then fall back down to 5290. So 5290, which would be somewhere here, 5290, go back to somewhere there, 5290. That'll be the target for SPX for the coming week. Let's go to the next pair. Let's look at the whilst we're here, let's look at Euro USD actually. So Euro USD weekly chart, we can see energy flow to the upside. We've had a bit of a pullback, and now we're going another leg up. I expect Euro USD to continue to go up to about the 109 before the end of the week. So 109 will be my target for the week. Let's look at the next pair. Let's go and look at oil. So oil, we've got energy flow to the upside, to the downside, but we've got the bulls kind of pushing price up. So next week, I do expect us to continue to go up. And I do expect that, it goes up to about the 7830 area. So 7830 area, somewhere here, 7830. and potentially 7890. So that would be kind of somewhere between here and there will be where I think oil falls for next week. Let's look at the US 10-year. US 10-year. So US 10-year, we've got energy flow to the upside. We've got a bit of selling pressure coming into the market last week. Look at the weekly chart. We have a tail here and price has gone up. It's a bit of selling pressure, but we do expect the US 10-year to continue to go up to about the 4.6 mark. So the 4.6 mark, maybe 4.5 to 4.6, 4.5 to 4.6 mark. Between that range is where we expect the US 10-year to land next week. Let's look at the next pair. Let's look at Dixie. So the US dollar index. US dollar index, currently, we've got on the weekly chart, we've got energy flow to the downside. We've got bears stepping in, selling pressure coming into the market. I do expect that the Dixie will fall to about 104.8, so 104.8 area before the end of the week. I've got a trend line here, so as soon as it breaks this trend line, then we are definitely going to really be cascading, probably wait for a retest of the trend line. And then if it fails, then of course we're going down. But for next week, is 104.8. That's the target for the Dixie. Let's look at the next pair. Let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is an interesting one. On the monthly chart, we have a very positive candle on the monthly chart here. Green candle. There's some volume here. The volume is not yet increasing. So that's something to be mindful about. We go to the weekly chart. The weekly chart, we've kind of pulled down, tried to go up. There's a lot of selling pressure coming into the market. So the bulls are trying to push price down. My target for the week is 67K. As you can see, I've drawn it on the line there. Somewhere there is where I expect the BTC to fall. It could obviously cascade down to probably around, here, 59, 60K. But next week, 67K can be expected. Now let's go and look at the next pair. So I do want to cover some altcoins. So let me cover some altcoins. I want to cover PEPE. So PEPE is an interesting one. So PEPE on the weekly chart, you can see we've got a big move to the upside. The energy flow is definitely to the upside on PEPE. Now we do expect that energy flow to continue to go up. There might be a slight pullback, and potentially pullback could be somewhere, in the 15.5, 15.4 area pullback. And then we will have to go and exceed this particular high here. So potential for PEPE to go all the way to the 16.5. I will have 16.5 as my target for next week. 16.5 to 17 probably is where PEPE ends up for next week. Yeah. I also want to talk about Ethereum. So Ethereum is quite interesting. On the weekly chart, you can see we've got this big candle here, big volume also there as well. Energy flows to the upside. We do expect Ethereum to continue going up, and Ethereum to go all the way up to probably, the 4,000, I'll say retest of the top. So I'll say 4,100 maximum. And then after that, potentially we cascade down. That's probably the target for next week. Let's target the top here, 4,001, probably likely double top on the weekly chart. It potentially pulls down to about 3,000, 3,750, 3,000, between 3,600 and 3,750 area would be a great place to kind of pick it up on Ethereum. I want to talk about PENDLE. So PENDLE is another interesting one as well that I think we need to talk about. It's got energy flow to the upside. You've got a bit of selling pressure coming into the market. currently on the weekly chart. We've got good volume. We expect PENDLE to pull back first next week. So a pullback to probably, the 21-day moving average, which is about, I would say, 585, 590 area. Pull back to somewhere there before we start going back up, and to exceed this high, maybe do a double top at the top there, 750, 740, between 740, 760 is where probably PENDLE ends up next week. So that's PENDLE for you. Let me look at ONDO. So ONDO is another interesting one as well. So we've got a lot of energy to the upside on this one. Huge candle, huge volume. We expect price to continue to go up. There might be a slight pullback, and I think you can expect around the 125, 124 area as a pullback. Would be a good area to pick it up, and you would expect that you would get at least the 135, 1.35 on ONDO in terms of a long trade, but there will be a pullback first before. So that's a good one as well. And then let me add one more for you, which is GTO. So GTO is an interesting one on the weekly chart. You've got energy flow to the downside. There's a lot of selling pressure coming into the market. We do expect that GTO will bounce back up probably to about the 370 area, 375, and then continue its journey down. A target of about 315 is what we're expecting. 315 to 320, 315 to 320 is where you can expect GTO to fall to. So that's about it in terms of some of the coins that I wanted to talk about in terms of forecasts and targets. During the week, I will be doing updates on some of these pairs in terms of how they're panning out. Hopefully you have a good trading week, and next week we will catch up again.